All right. You're able to afford. I did it from Pamicho, Mammy Yonkodo.
Biakoye.
Eddie can be Pamu natural, more from a bunny to me. And so now, oh, Jesus Christ. Eddie can be the Yanko says I'll be no. That's the one can have your winning. That's bra. Abra apako, tino yanche onko ebo pie, te did for him that's me nano. Yonko ya kati na fi am pie. Ya bom pie. E yanko pa dey na so tum fe da was na me so the yanko ache. Bra be be suon ho se me yes some we the card here. Yan fom fi na ache na fi we hu yambo. Na fi no be tun ya wade suon awurade. Wa be yemu, o mo hu konko na de kan. Na fi no ma sa bi on ba be kasa achero already made one more show so we na mobo na fi show ho anumia na fi be no so a no so kasa esan so ya me we hwe on konkra gu tuntun we yi so no hu bi afrom so the way the ho as there ni ka bia so ama ya da was say me say we tie mpa be Jesus dey mo ti amen
Amen.
Then was say yo sabe na amen ji say me yi yenu our media nim chad say ache mo sabe the only can ye yank say yenu ba sister Ellen Boache dankwa anena odi adisen edika the auto say many ye yenu ba kwa ye fan Miss Bresson Kejabi patwa say me wrong, just forgive me if I couldn't pronounce the name well and it onona sam emma me ni be di anim afi ma ache ye baby soon they are doing creating creating words generation words and then baby say we are still going to be nipa you be first so bit me aboy ho body na yes sika na say ye de bibia to amadache se le be ya bit me the aboy ho bra na ye nuanom ma mienu na ombedi anim na fi wo ma cheche sa niema atise and we welcome both of you ladies today to Queens-GSDA Church. Sabi sister Ellen Boache dankwa so when you be ka fana fino wedding kan Queens asafuna wo wani minti sabi no yam kasanche ya mama mukwana fino adisibi hobia no mo de aman e wi a agegefo mummi na hwe ye phone so yana say e mute ni na e wi a asembisa anas sembo bi hobia so e de abana fino additional every monday me na mase
Yo, Ajidi for Bedamase, Medaso Airport in Tino. I'm going to speak very briefly and put my mask back on.
Okay.
It is my pleasure to be here with you tonight, this evening. We thank God for you guys inviting us to come and speak about how to create generational wealth and how to procure your finances also. I want to introduce you all to my mentor, my coach, my marketing director with PHP Agency. She is a six-figure income earner. I'm sorry, multiple six-figure income earner, okay? She trains others to earn six figures. I am one of her proteges, and I am on track to earn such income. She has also been featured in Forbes magazine this year for her business and her success. I want you to be able to give her your undivided attention because she has a wealth of knowledge to give to you. Miss Blessing Ikejimba is a phenomenal woman. She's a mother. She's also a community leader and also a youth pastor in her church. So I want you to give her your undivided attention, take notes, and please do write your questions down so we can answer them at the end of the presentation. All right, I give it over to Miss Blessing.
Thank you, Ellen. And good afternoon, everybody. And I am so sorry I cannot speak the language, okay? But don't worry, I'm going to learn, I promise. Once Ellen agrees to teach me, I'm going to be learning it. Trust me on that. And I'm very, very fast with languages. So welcome, everybody. It's my pleasure and honor to speak to you guys today. I'm speaking from here in Los Angeles, California. Ellen, we were actually together yesterday in Las Vegas. Okay, you guys don't know, today is Ellen's birthday. So, and she qualified to come on a completely, fully expense-paid company trip in Las Vegas yesterday. We were together yesterday, and then we came, I came back today. She's on her way back to Maryland. So we're excited to talk to you guys today. And like Ellen mentioned, my name is Blessing Ikejemba. And prior to here, you know, I studied statistics back home. Then I came here. I'm from Nigeria, by the way, so next door. I came here, and when I was coming here, I personally like to help people. So that's my drive. That's my bigger thing that I like to do. So when I was coming here, you know, everybody said, go do nursing. That's where you get a good job in. And that's what I did before coming, because I like to help people anyways. So I came here, practiced as a registered nurse for 10 years. And I saw a trend here. It's a trend that people do paycheck to paycheck. Like that's just the routine. It doesn't matter the name you're called, the title that you're given, registered nurses, doctors, people cannot retire. I see 72, 73-year-olds, they're still working, they still have to work extra shifts and extra hours. And I didn't really like that to be how I want to run my life here. I also, when you go to Walmart, I'm sure you've seen so many of those too, who say, welcome to Walmart, thank you for coming. And those people are people in their 70s. And I'm sure you agree with me, when these people were in their 20s and 30s and 40s, they didn't know they would come out of retirement to go, you know, look for another job. So that's what made me to start really thinking and looking into financial services, and then taking it to the point where I wanted to learn more how money works for myself, so that I learned the principles to hand down generational wealth to my children and to my family, and to also be able to teach it to other people. My bigger goal as a person is to develop malaria vaccine. So I just finished my master's. I'm going to continue my education next year to start researching into malaria vaccine. That's what I want to do for humanity. So as I meet with you guys today, I want you to look at what we're talking about today with 3 sets of eyes. Number one is as a referral source. There's a lot of people, over 50 million people have lost their jobs so far due to COVID. Okay, most restaurants are closed down. Airport workers are also turned down. A lot of organizations are closed down. Some people have their hours cut. So for those people, if you see some of them that they're looking for work, if they're in your circle, those will be good people to refer to us, because we have so many people needing help and so few people helping them. So that's why this industry is a good place to actually get into. The second set of eyes I want you to look at what we're talking about today is as a client. The Bible said that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So we find that, and it says that we shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. So the truth that really sets us free is the truth that we know, and we live, and we act it, you know. So a lot of times we get good information, we just file it under the cabinet, and we forget about it. And then something happens to us or somebody we know, we're like, oh my goodness, if I had made a good use of that information. So the information you're going to get today is, usually when I do group settings like this, you reach out to us one by one. We will drop our info. You reach out to us one by one so we could help you look at what you're doing. We usually will give people free assessment of what they're doing. If it's good, we keep it alone. We could say this, add this, or take away that. We're able to help people look at what they're doing. So as a client. And then the third set of eye is as a business partner, regardless of what job you do now. In this industry, like in our team, we have medical doctors, we have lawyers, engineers, nurse practitioners, people that normally before they won't want to look into financial services, but now most people are looking into financial services for themselves, and then so they can educate their community, especially if you're a church group, a community organization. Like Ellen is really passionate about the Ghanaian community, bringing financial education to this community. Because when you look at it, Africans are the most hardest working people in America today, but they don't retire the best because we don't have those concepts. Look at the Jews and the white people. They have this concept we're going to be discussing today. That's why you don't see their children in student loan or credit card debt. So those are the same thing we're teaching our people, so that down the road, we have a group of people who are financially savvy and they have financial street sense. So if you're at a place where you're needing an extra income, even if it's an extra $2,000-$3,000 every month, in addition to what you're earning, you'll be a good fit for us. We'll have to, when we look at, we interview you. If you're a good fit, we'll help you get started with us. Does anybody have any question before I share my screen? Oh, can you allow me to share screen? Okay, you did already. Thank you. So our company, are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So our company is called PHP Agency. PHP stands for People Helping People. That's the name of our company. That's part of the first thing that attracted me to this company. What organization in America call themselves People Helping People? That's the first thing I wanted to look at. And then when I looked at their philosophy and their mission statement and the way they do things, I found out that this company was actually built on a very strong Christian footing. So that's the second thing. The logo there that you see, the hand pulling up somebody, that's the hand of God pulling us up, and that's how God expects us to pull up one another. So when as a company, we're what you call a financial marketing organization. What that means is we do not have our own products. We're like your Expedia. When you're traveling, like the trip we just made, right? This trip we just made, I booked all the flights, hotel, everything from Expedia. Expedia doesn't have their own flight. But when I go to Expedia, I see everything laid out to me. That way I can decide that, okay, I'm going to go with American Airlines, I'm going to come back with United because they give me better choices at those times. So that's how we are. We're your Expedia in the financial industry. Because what we do is we educate the average American family about money, how money works, how to earn more, and how to earn more money and how to save more. So we're what you call a financial marketing organization or broker general agency. So we broker for multiple companies. These are just a very few of them. We broker for over 20 companies. Companies like Foresters, Mutual of Omaha, John Hancock, National Life Group, American National, AIG. I'm sure you've heard about most of these companies. So these are companies that I don't have to start selling you on them because they're household names already. There are three things our companies have in common. Number one, they've been here at least 100 years. Number two, there are companies that are AAA rated. So all the rating agencies have to rate these companies A. And number three, there are companies that are highly innovative and they give hassle-free response to clients. Why is this important? Because we're a big broker general agency. We have over 20,000 licensed agents. We have over 150 offices nationwide, and we're in 49 states and Puerto Rico. So when we put our pen on a client's policy, we want to make sure we're giving them the best in terms of quality, content of the product, and in terms of how much they're paying. So we want to give people good value for their buck. So that's why we do research into companies before we go into partnership. I'm sure, for example, National Life Group here, I don't know how many of you know, but NLG, National Life Group, they paid people who died in the Titanic in 1912. because they've been here since 1848. AIG, most of you are Africans, so you watch Euro League, you see Manchester United, AIG sponsor them. They're in 150 countries. So those are some of our companies. Now, when it comes to products and services, we do help people with things like 401k rollovers, 403b rollovers, 457 plans, TSP, whatever the name of the plan is called. Right? We help people with IRAs and Roth IRAs, life insurance. We do individual insurance and group insurance. We help people with all our products come with living benefits and annuities and debt settlement. Now, this is not an avenue for me to explain each individual of this product. Some of them might be useful to one person, but not to the other person. For example, if you have changed jobs, you're in between jobs, you just left another job, you did 401k, then we could show you how you can roll over your 401k to an annuity. So that way you don't have to roll it into your new job and expose it to the market. So if you're probably, for example, you're self-employed or you run your own business, we show you how you can leverage on the IRA, but you're not putting your money in a market where it could grow and fall. We put you in a product called index annuities. We show you how those products work. Life insurance, I'm going to talk more about life insurance because that's one product that every single individual needs. Okay, when it comes to life insurance, guys, there's a misconception I've seen. If I ask you guys now, what is life insurance? What comes to your mind just now, just for me saying it? Death, right? When I die, what I leave for my family. So that's what an average person knows life insurance to be. But with us, that's not what life insurance is. That's a part of it. That's a part of what life insurance is. Sorry, guys, I have to plug my laptop. Okay, there you go. It was telling me my battery is dying. Yeah, so part of what life insurance is what a lot of people know. A good life insurance does three things for you. Number one is, because there are three things that could happen to us as human beings. We may live long, we may become ill or disabled, or we may die soon, right? So let's say we live long, which is what we pray for. A good life insurance will be able to provide you what we call cash value. That cash value grows with interest, compound interest. When you take from it, you don't pay taxes, you don't pay interest. Okay? So whenever you hear people tax-free retire, that's how rich people retire tax-free, by the way. So why is it that people who are really not as well-to-do, they go ahead and they pay taxes for the rich people? And regardless of how much we complain about it, they are not breaking the law. They just understand the financial services, so they're utilizing it appropriately. So that's when you hear tax-free retirement, there are two places you can save tax-free retirement money: in a Roth IRA and in a life insurance. So that's the first thing a good life insurance does for you: cash value. Now, your cash value, it doesn't have limitation like your 401k, how you have to turn 59 and a half before you can use it or anything like that. Your life insurance, you can start it today. Next 2 years, you need to repair your home. You go take money there, pay off your home or pay down payment or send your kids to college. Whatever you need to do with money, you do it with that money that you get from there. Now, that's the first thing. If we live long, cash value. Whenever we do policies for children, we do them that policy too. It's a cash value policy we call Index Universal Life. Now, these policies differ from whole life. Some of you probably have permanent policy, but they are whole life. But you will notice that when you take money from your whole life, what do you have to do? Pay it back. If you don't pay back the money you take from your whole life, it's going to deplete your death benefit. So let's say I have a life insurance and it's a whole life, it's $100,000, and I do not, I accrued $50,000 cash in it, and I decided to take my $50,000 cash. I have to pay it back. While I have that $50,000 cash, it will be charging me interest every month. So if I don't pay that $50,000 cash 10 years from now and I die, they will deduct that 50,000 from my 100,000 and deduct all the interest that he has yielded. That's why when you have a whole life policy, they say, oh yeah, you can borrow against it. That's an old kind of permanent policy that came out in the 60s. Now the modern permanent policy is like how your phone has grown, right? From your usual flip phone you can just use to make call and maybe send text. So now your phone is your office in your hand. It's a fax machine, email, everything is on your phone. That's how insurance has improved. Now, Index Universal Life Insurance is a policy that when you take it, let's say I have that same 100,000 and I've accrued the same $50,000 and I need to use money. If I take my $50,000, nobody charges me interest, nobody charges me taxes. It's my real money to use. So have you seen how the Jewish people, they open what we call $1 million baby policy for their kids? That doesn't mean you put 1 million. You can be paying like $50 for the child. You just decide how much you want to pay. They open it when the child is young, and then it grows there. When the child is ready to go to college, they go to their life insurance policy, take money, pay their college fees. When they turn 35, 40, they go in their life insurance, take money, pay down payment for a home. When they turn 65, they go in their life insurance to take retirement money. So those are some of the concepts we are going to be building for you. Okay, so that's about living benefits. So the first thing is if we live long, cash value. Second thing is the one everybody knows. If we die soon, death benefit, right? Which is also very important, guys, especially because we're sojourners here. A lot of times, Africans die here, their family back home want a sense of closure, so they want us brought back home. But then, if we didn't take care of life insurance here, there's no money to do that. Guys, last year, somebody referred me to a lady. I called this lady. She was sounding like very agitated. I said, where are you? She said she's at work. I said, okay, would you like me to call you back? What's making you so agitated? Because I know she doesn't know me from Adam, so it couldn't have been me. She starts crying. She said, didn't you hear that my husband died last week? So I said, no, I did not hear. So what are you doing at work? She said she has to work because she has to put food on the table. She said, and the bad part is that the family wants her to bring back the husband. She said, am I going to carry him on my head? You know? So those are some of the reasons why it's really important to also invest in a life insurance that protects our family. If our children are young, we want to make sure that they get to go to college, they get to stay in the same home. If we bought a home, which is what a lot of us do here, you go buy a home, you don't want to leave liability for your family. You want to get a small life insurance that will take care of that home if something were to happen to you. That's death benefit. The most important thing, I think, when it comes to life insurance is what we call living benefit. That's when you have a life insurance, you're working, everything is good, you're doing your regular work, and boom, you fall sick. And because you fall sick, your health insurance pays your hospital bill. But when the doctor sets you free to go home, they say you can't work for 1 month or let's say for not 1 month, like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever the prognosis is. Now, that time when you cannot work because of illness, your life insurance allows you, a good one allows you to accelerate up to 90% of your death benefit when you're still alive. So what that helps you do is, again, the same concept of you have about a chunk of money you can rely on to take care of things, so you're not a burden to your family, so your spouse can still go out to work, so they don't quit their job and come stay, and things like that. You're able to sort that out. That's living benefits. Now, that's about life insurance. The reason why I took time to explain life insurance a little bit is, trust me, I don't know about you guys. I know that an average Nigerian that I've spoken to when I was new, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to die yet, And I always give the analogy. Did you go take your car insurance so you will go and hit the pole? No, nobody goes to hit the pole because they have a car insurance. That's how it is also with your life insurance, right? So, but it's there for when you need it. Now, life insurance is also like a parachute. If you already hopped off the plane before you realize you don't have your parachute, then it's too late. So if you already needed life insurance, then it's too late to get it. So those are some of the things that we share with people. Now, I'm going to go to share with you guys what you're looking for in your money. Now, when we finish this, we're going to drop a very brief exit survey. Our exit survey will just be simple, something as simple as your name, your phone number, and maybe if you want to refer anybody to get this information, but more so we could follow up with you guys, answer questions that are not answered here. In the next maybe 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to open it up for questions so people can ask their own questions also. But then we always will do a one-on-one after we meet with a group, because there are some questions that are personal that you wouldn't want to ask in a group. So those are some of the questions that we'll be able to answer for you outside of here. So when it comes to money, there are 4 things you want your money to do for you. And after today, every single time you take $1 off your pocket to invest anywhere, you want to ask yourself these 4 things. Does that money do at least 3 out of these 4? If possible, if you could do all 4, perfect. The first thing is safety. Your money that you put wherever you put it, is it safe? Does it grow? Is it accessible? So when you need it, you go take it. And does it avoid tax? Now, some of you know some places we can put money. So if you can put it in the chat box, we'll look at it and then we'll answer where they belong. Every single vehicle you can grow money in America, I don't care what it's called, they belong to one of 3 places. They are what you call fixed. Fixed are those things that you get in the bank, like your CDs, your savings account, your checking account, right? So these accounts, they are, for example, your savings account in the bank, your money in the bank is safe. Every time you want it, you go get it, so it's accessible. But does your money in the bank grow? No, right? How about tax avoidance? No, even if you grow 20 cents, next tax season, they will send you a 1099 for that 20 cents to pay it back. Okay, so it's safe, it's accessible, but it doesn't grow and it doesn't avoid tax. Now, there's a rule we use to check how much your money will grow, how long it will take your $1 to double to $2. We call it a rule of 72, proposed by Albert Einstein. And that's a rule that says when you take the number 72, and you can do this exercise for yourself, take the number 72 and divide it by whatever percentage your financial institution is giving you. So let's say I bank with Chase Bank. So Chase gives me 0.03%. I know some of you here, what you do for your child's college, you just go put them some money in the savings account. How much does it yield you? Like 0.03%? Now, if I have my $1 in a savings account in Chase, it will take 2,400 years. Because when I do 72 divided by 0.03, it's going to give me 2,400 years. 2,400 years for my $1 to double, right? Truth is, we don't have that kind of time to live here on earth, right? So that's your fixed. Would you leave some money in the bank? Yes. You need some emergency savings in the bank, so that if something happens quickly, there's some money you can go to handle things. Generally, about 6 to 12 months of expenses, not your income, your expenses. And when we sit with people, these are some things we help them calculate, your financial independence number. A lot of people think they need to have a lot of money before they start investing. Actually, no. I read a book, The Secret of the Millionaire Mind, and one of the things it talks in that book is to start your financial independence account, because he said, even if you have $1, there's something you could start doing with that $1, and then until it grows to 10, to 100, to 1,000, and things like that. Those are conversations for when we sit one-on-one. Now, the next bucket you can grow your money. Remember, the first one is fixed. This one is what we call variable. So as the name goes, when the market is up, you gain. When the market is down, you lose. It's called variable account. Example, the stock market, mutual fund, IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, CSP, they are all here. Okay? So the advantage is that when the market is up, you could earn. You really could gain a lot. When the market is down, what also happens to you? You take all the risk. So this is just like taking all your retirement money or the money you want to grow, go to Vegas, or see one of those slot machines, dump it there and say, okay, let me put all this in there. Let's see if we grow or if we lose, right? So a portion of your retirement money could go in here. There's a rule that you use to check how much you should have in variable. We call it Rule 100, where you subtract your age from 100, it gives you how much you can have in a variable account. So let's say I'm talking to someone, the person is 60, they should have 60 minus 100, that's 40. They should have 40% of their money in a variable account. The other 60%, they want to protect it. And that takes me to the third place where you can grow your money. I don't know, I'm sure some of you were here in 2008 already, right? Or even March this year. Let's not even go to 2008. March this year, some people lost as much as 32% in their retirement vehicles, 401k. Okay? So the next, what if there's an account that can combine the safety of the bank with the potential for the high returns of the stock market? Wouldn't that be a perfect plan? That's what we call index account. So whenever you hear index universal life, like the policy I talked about, when we help to grow money for kids or for you when you're growing older or for later when you need money, index annuities, those are those accounts. So when the market is up in these accounts, you earn a portion of what the market is doing, about 60 to 80% of what the market is doing. But when the market is down, you don't lose a dime. So let's say you have an index account and your cap is 80%. When the market is up, you're going to earn 80% of whatever the market is doing. Let's say the market is doing 20%, you earn 16%. If it's doing 10%, you earn 8%. But when the market is down, you don't lose a dime. So let's say the market is doing minus 20, you will stay at zero. We say zero is your hero. So at this point, you don't ever lose. You can only gain. Okay? Now this, so the advantage of here is that you're combining the safety of the market, the safety of the bank, and the potential for high growth of the stock market. The disadvantage is that when the market is up, you're not gaining everything. Now, there's never a vehicle that is a perfect vehicle, doesn't have anything disadvantage about it. No, there's no such vehicle, okay? The only thing is that while there are some that are a whole lot better than others. So this is a graph of these three concepts that we just talked about. Your fixed account, like your bank, your variable account, like your mutual fund or 401k or your stock market or trading, anything, and any of those trading stuff. And then the blue one is your index universal. You see how when the market is negative, you stand and wait. And then when the market is up, you start going again. Now, question you ask yourself, if somebody had, number one question is, has anybody ever sat you down to walk you through this concept? Even when you were in college or in high school, did any teacher or professor ever sit you down to teach you how money works, how to save more, how to earn more? Nobody does that for you. That's what we do here, is we teach you, and then once you learn, you teach other people. The difference between a doctor that's a millionaire and a doctor that lives an average life is that one doctor, the one that is a millionaire, has more financial street sense. The one that's living an average life does not, it's just a doctor. It doesn't have financial street sense. So when most of you, like when let's say you partner with us, these are the concepts we are going to be teaching you for you and your family and your friends and your relatives and the people around you. Now, finally, the last thing I talk about, I've already talked about life insurance. So I'm just going to tell you guys the types, Okay, and then we'll open it up for questions. So when it comes to life insurance, by now I'm sure you already have a different opinion of life insurance. Two things I want to talk about here more is, number one is your where you have your life insurance matters. You see, the three things I say our companies have in common: they must have been here at least 100 years, they are AAA rated, and they give hassle-free response. You want to look at your own financial institution for that. We're brokers, so we broker for over 20 companies. So I'm not captive to any of those companies. So when I sit with a client, I'm sitting on the side of the client and I'm looking into the company. Now, if you sit with an agent that is captive to a company, they can only give you what their company has. So since we have over 20 companies, we have more choice. So that's number one thing. So who provides it? Number two thing you're looking at is, what type do you have? What type do you have? And now then, what does it contain? Because there are some people, you might have your index universal life, but it has cash value and death benefit, but it doesn't have living benefit. So there are three things you're looking for. You're looking for death benefit, living benefit, and cash value. So death benefit for when you die, living benefit for when you fall sick, critical illness, chronic illness, terminal illness, critical injury, and then cash value for when you live. You know, so all three you're looking for in a policy. Generally, we have the term they are cheaper, but you may outlive them, and they cover you for 10, 20, 30 years. Advantage is they are very affordable. Okay, so they come with life insurance and living benefits. And then we have permanent policy. They are a little more expensive upfront, but they cover you 10, 20, they cover you for life until age 120. So Ellen, I don't know if you want to go to the link tree and get the survey and drop it on the chat, so people who want to fill it could go ahead and fill it. Yeah. So permanent policy covers you for life. You can never outlive it. It comes with living benefit, death benefit, and cash value. Those are the different two. Let me talk one thing about workplace policy, because that's one thing I've seen generally. A lot of people have life insurance from their work. Now, when you do have life insurance from your work, generally, nobody sits you down to explain to you how it works. Like a 401k, they just say, oh yeah, we're doing 401k. Sign here, you sign. Now, when we sit, we say, when should you do 401k? When should you not do 401k? Those are individual conversations. Now, when it comes to life insurance from work, there are a few things you want to know. Number one, those policies, you're not the owner. You're the insured. So anytime you're doing anything for life insurance when you're still alive, and they say, oh, what's your policy number? Oh, give me the certificate. You don't have it. Your HR has it. Number two, those policies, they are simple term, just death insurance policy. And for it to pay your family a dime, you have to be working and die in active payroll for it to pay a dime. How do I know? Because we carry them, okay? But they are extremely cheap. Sometimes you get them for free. So we say, whatever you get for free, take it. But anything that your family needs, get it from outside. If you travel to Ghana or to Nigeria or to wherever, and you die there, your workplace policy is not paying. So it's territorial. And another thing is that if you're working and you know how before people die, they have to fall sick a lot of times, or get into an accident and then they suffer, they are ill for some time. Number one, most times when you're ill you finish all your off time, your workplace will let you go while you're still ill. So by the time that person passed, they don't have any policy anymore. Even if you say, I'm going to stay in this company until I retire. When you retire, guess how much life insurance you're retiring with? This much. I'm working with two people now. One is a 68-year-old man, was an architect for 35 years. Zero life insurance right now. He used to have about $750,000. Another woman is a retired school principal, 68, zero life insurance. She used to have $500,000. And both of them already hypertensive, diabetic, taking insulin, you know, so it's so difficult now to find them a policy. So I'm gonna hold it here. Does anybody have any question that you would like me to answer?
Yo, Sister Blessing.
Yes, sir.
Did it for Medina Mercy. So do a question be one feel free. Sister Ellen wa bet my boy and mo bia hano. So person be so question. Which might be some retreat Casimona. Na member Bunafi ye no. The sister patient so boy na pi and saka say enuanu me. This abre a quite be and more be obetim dia banafi no at the same years you know a real modi damasi.
Yo, abusuafo yɛda mo ase bebree sɛ mode dwumadi abrɛ. Na me question no wɔ index no sanka obetumi asan akyekyere mu kakra. Ɛhɔ na mepɛ sɛ ɔbɔ so kakra na mete hɔ menya emu ntiaseɛ ɛwɔ saa index no.
Kwesi, can you translate?
Yes, Kwesi, please help. Thank you. I have to board my flight.
Go, Miss Ellen.
Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Business type.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I also want to thank the Ghanaian church up in the north making time to listen to this presentation. So basically, the question is about more of the index. He wants you to expand more about the index, please.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Does it have any particular aspect of it, or just how it works?
How it works.
How it works. Okay. So yeah. So an index account, you can have it like an index insurance, index universal life insurance, or index annuity. The concept of indexing is this. Where you have money that you're wanting to grow, but there are two options that used to be available that people are familiar with. Is either my money is not growing, or it's growing, but I can lose a chunk of it any moment. Like I could literally, if you have it like in the stock market, you can wake up in the morning, you had $100,000. When you wake up tomorrow morning, oh, now you are $88,000. So people don't like that erratic measure. Like think about 2008 or even March this year. If somebody was already 67 and planning to retire at the age of 68 and they lose 32% of their retirement money, what do you think happens to them? They have to go back to work. So indexing is a situation where the company says, when the market is up, you're not going to be earning everything the market is doing. You earn a portion. So you have a floor and a cap. For example, let's say your floor will always be 0%, okay, because you can't fall below zero, as you can see from here. So your floor is 0%, meaning when you're investing in an index account, that is this blue line. So you will see that, and these are real numbers, guys, from 98 to 2013. This is a real life 15-year look back. So when the market is going up, you will see that the stock market is growing a little faster. The index is growing a little slower because you have a cap. Let's say your cap is 70%. Then your money can't grow past that 70% or whatever the stock market is doing. So you're indexing out. So then when the market is down in exchange, you don't lose a dime. You stay where you are and wait. So in the negative years, you earn 0%. So like, let's say, for example, you started with 100,000, like in this case. And then by the year 2000, this guy was, the people in the stock market were already like 137,000. The person that was in an index account is at 127,000, right? But then the market dropped in 2002 when the dot-com bubble busted. This guy lost way beyond what he started with. It went down to 78,000. That's stock market for you, or your 401k. Most of you, if you work in a place and you do 401k, you've seen it. Some people told me they are so afraid they don't want to look. Tell me how you have your retirement account. You don't want to look, right? What if when you want to retire now, you go check and you just, like literally, this happened to somebody I knew. He thought maybe he had 100 and something thousand. He's 63. So he's saying, oh, I'm going to retire at 65, right? So I said, okay, let's check what you have. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm over 100. He calls me back, sounding very down. He has $23,000. And he's literally talking to me with tears in his eyes. He's like, I guess I'm just going to keep working until I die. You know? So that's why when we sit, for example, we say, okay, let's see what you're doing. Let's see what you're doing. We help you calculate your financially independent number. When are you looking to retire? You know? And based on there are some people that have very high risk tolerance, right? I don't want to lose any of my money. If it's grown there, I want to either be there or more. That's what index does for you. So you will see that after this, when they were struggling for these 3 years, that there's really no growth. This guy stood and waited. He never lost a dime. So every year, the account will credit to 0%, 0%, 0%. The market starts going again. You start growing again. Look, this guy almost caught up in 2007. And then what happened? Real estate bubble busted in 2008. He lost, watch. As at 2009, this guy went back to $100,000 that he started 10 years ago. Guess what happened is that when people invest in the stock market, there's what we call insensible loss. So let's say you start with $100, you lose 50%, you have $50 now. How much would you need to gain before you get back to $100? Most people will say maybe 50%. No, you need to gain another 100% for you to be able to get back to your $100. How many times have you seen the stock market do 100%? Never. So that's why it's almost impossible for somebody that is in the stock market to compete with somebody that is in the index. Now, why is everybody not doing index? Because not all companies do index. A lot of advisors, don't even know anything about index. Because if I'm captive to a company and that company does only variable product, for example, let's say I work with Primerica and all they do is mutual fund. That's what they are going to teach me. That's what I'm going to know. So everybody I know, I'm going to give them that one cap fit up. So imagine if I put you in a mutual fund, you're 67, and you just have worked your entire life, and you've accumulated $150,000 for your retirement, and I put you in a mutual fund, and next year, the stock market drop and you lose 40% of that. Have you seen why people actually commit suicide? Because of how much they lose in the stock market. Those are the things that index does for you. So to summarize it, your index is like you're playing a poker game. When you lose, they let you keep your money. When you win, they give you 80% of what you've won. That's a simple way of putting it. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please, I have a question.
Yes.
Ms. Buston, thank you so much for taking time out to come and talk to us about it. I think it's a very important question. My question is, well, I have two. A lot of our parents and a lot of our Ghanaian parents, maybe they have the plan that, okay, I'll come here and I'll work and, maybe I'll establish a business in Ghana. I'll save a little bit. And when I retire, then I'll, the little money that I'm getting from retirement and the business that I'm doing in Ghana or whatever it may be, I'll move to Ghana and, live my retirement there. What advice would you give to, such a person? Because I feel like that's that's the plan for a lot of people, that they will live their life here and go to Ghana and use the money that they have maybe saved from years of working here to take care of themselves there. And my second question is for younger folks who may have thousands of dollars in student loans. you know, they may not be, we may not be thinking about, oh, maybe I should take a life insurance policy because there's so many mountains of debts from the years of schooling that you may have gone. And so, what advice would you give to us younger folks who are also dealing with, not only student loans but also credit card debts and all of that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. What's your name?
Amma.
Amma. That's such a good question, Amma. So, and to answer your question, let me answer the first one, then let me answer the second one since I'm on this page. So, part of what we do is we help people with debt settlement. That debt settlement is credit card and student loan. We partner with this mediator debt solution. It's a huge law firm. They've been doing it for about 20 years. So they specialize in helping people with student loan and credit card debt. And what they do, there are 3 ways people can solve their credit problem. Number 1 is bankruptcy. You don't want to go there because they're financial jail for 7 years. Number 2 is consolidation. That's when you're owing Mr. ABC. You're still paying all 3, only that you're paying it with 1 check. So you really haven't done anything different, And then number 3 is debt settlement or debt negotiation. This is when this mediator law group, they understand the law about debts. So they call your debtors on your behalf and they negotiate on your behalf. They usually are able to negotiate down your student loan to manageable amount. Because a lot of times, if somebody, and I totally get that because I've sat with some people, they have $200 and something $1,000 in student loan. Some people 100 and something. Some people, it's such a burden on them that they can't even think, literally, right? So what they do is they help you negotiate on your behalf, and that way they're able to stop the interest from growing, because that's what makes the loan big. As we're deferring it and we're deferring it, it just keeps growing, especially if you're owing government loan. Even if you file bankruptcy, when you come out of bankruptcy, you go pick it back up. It doesn't leave you if it's a government student loan. So what we do is we have that debt settlement there. Now, what would I advise somebody like that? Because you're very young, your cost of insurance is almost 0. You're paying little, like pennies a day in the cost of insurance. For example, a 30-year-old female can get $500,000 for $30 a month. That's $1 a day. So where you can invest in an index universal life. Now, a portion of what you put in that your index universal life will pay for life insurance premium, which is very little. A bigger chunk of it will go to your cash value, so that even though that your student loan, because your life insurance policy, the cash you are accumulating there is growing with compound interest, usually it will outgrow your student loan. So you can actually literally go out there, take some money and pay off. In my church, all the young girls and boys that are in college, they take their own policy. They're paying $50, $60 a month. What it helps them do, number 1, is to teach them the concept of saving. But number 2 is that when they're graduating college, especially the ones that are doing med school, that's almost 10 years they have to be in college, right? So by the time they're graduating, they already have something reasonable built up that they can go deeper and start paying their student loan from that, while their mates are out there looking for a job. Does that answer your question, that part?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And then the second part about our parents retiring back home, there's nothing we can do about it. That's where they grow up. That's where they're psychologically connected. But the good thing about that is this. When you see somebody planning to retire home, a lot of times they put all their egg in that basket out there. Sometimes they give to a relative to build a house, and by the time they get home there's no house, And that's what leads to even dying, that's why it leads to other people die early or things like that. Now, what we educate people is this: that your retirement money that you would have it in a place where it doesn't grow up and down. Okay, there are 2 times that we can help them roll over that. It's not every time. So each one we have to look at it, know if it even qualifies, if it passes suitability. But if it does, you can actually turn your 401k to an annuity. That's a pension. So you roll over your 401k to an annuity, you're able to avoid probate with the state. Do you understand that when people leave their money here and they travel home and they die, the family has to go fight with the state to get it out? So they can roll it into an annuity. That way you're able to avoid probate. It's safe. It has all those 4 things, tax advantages, all that. It has it already, right? So with that, what it helps you do is it actually allows you to be able to convert. You can say, okay, I'm converting it into an annuity. I want to add lifetime income to rider to it. Even ordinary universal life insurance, for my index universal life, I'm going to pay premium till I turn 65. From 66, my life insurance pays me tax-free money from 66 to whenever I die. And then whatever is left goes to my family. So those are the things. So for those people that are planning to retire home, more so, why they need to sit, get all their stuff in one